Good evening, everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Excuse the delay. Today on the live, we have yet another guest speaker all the way from Nigeria. Yeah, and we're going to be discussing dreams, spirituality, herbs that heal, and maybe so much more. Let's see how it goes. Hopefully there's no technicalities this time on the live. Whenever I'm doing long distance, sometimes you're going to have some technical issues. Let's see. Hi, everyone. I'm just waiting for my guest to pull up. Let's see. Guest, where are you? It's done a runner. Let me see if I could go get him. I don't know. I don't see him. Hey! Let's see if I could go get him. Where is he? Here we go. Hello, Ivor. I just had to reboot. And so let's see if he can return back. Long distance sometimes have these technical issues. Okay, let me use my other device and see if I could go find my guests, because we have to disconnect and then reconnect. Let's see what's happening. Hello. I always have a plan B when I'm live because you never know what's going to happen. And the plan B is always that somebody else jumps on the live and we keep it pushing. Unfortunately. Good evening, Ivor. How are you doing, everyone? Let's give it a few more minutes and see whether I need to disconnect again as time is pushing. He's received my message. Let's see where he is. Hello. Hi, everyone. Still waiting for my guest. Let's see what's happening. Okay, I'll give it a couple more minutes, and if he is not able to log back on, then someone else can jump on in the meanwhile. Hi. So in the meanwhile, I'll give it 2 more minutes, and if not, someone can jump on and have a really quick interlude with me. Shall I say? Oh, here we go. Here's my guest. All right, let's bring him all the way in. Yeah, let's accept that. Here. Hi. Hello.
Hello,
There
good
you
evening.
go. That's a lot better. Sorry about that. Sometimes, we always have technical issues sometimes depending on where we are. No fault of your own. Yeah. Welcome back. Welcome back. Hi guys. Thank you for joining us. Today we have Sherman Adiki.
Idika.
Adika, and we're going to be discussing dreams, herbs that heal, and spirituality, and so much more. We may have to have him back on a part 2 because forgive my delay today. I had some technical issues and it took me about another 10 minutes to get on the live. So let's see how we go for the next 45 minutes at least. Yeah? Yeah? So remind us where about you are located, sir.
Okay,
Nigeria, which part?
I'm in Nigeria. In Delta State, Nigeria. That's where I
Nice.
stay. But
Mm-hmm.
actually, originally, I'm from Abia State.
Nice.
But I'm in Delta State because my mom is from there.
Okay, cool. How did you spend your day today before coming on the live? What did you get up to?
Okay, I have a couple of people I'm divining for, so I've been on that.
Is that
And
readings and things like that? Yeah.
yes,
Mm-hmm.
yes. So after that, I kind of spend some time alone because I need that. It's very important because there's always wisdom in loneliness.
Oh yeah. Well, there's a difference between being lonely and being alone. And
Yeah,
I think
yes,
And I think
Yes,
we can learn in both, but stillness in itself is a gift, isn't it? It's a real gift.
yes.
You know, well,
So
thank you for sharing that.
you can actually operate sometimes in your highest potential if you can
Mm-hmm.
be alone with yourself.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
it's a journey about finding self. So you always need that time alone to do that.
Absolutely. Okay. Well, as I know we started a bit later than usual today, I'm just going to like fast forward it a little bit, but I'm still going to at least allow you to have a bit of a warm up, which I give everybody. So maybe I will ask you three questions today, a little bit about yourself. Yeah. So let's start with who is Adika?
Okay. Actually, Idika is not my name,
Well, I know,
but
but
yeah, I told
whatever
you,
you want to call
Idika
yourself.
is it's actually my surname, my father's name. So I kind of adopted it more because I don't want it to go on extent. Because if you look at most of our family in Africa now, we are adopting our own name and we are leaving those surname behind, and it's affecting the culture because our children is growing into um, kind of different names, not our original dialect names and all that.
Very true.
So
Excuse me. Very,
most of
very,
what
very
we hear
true.
these days is John, Michael. My name is Emmanuel, but I decided to remove that and adopt a dialect name. So
Emmanuel, did you say?
yes,
That's actually
that
my
was
father's name and my son's middle name. So,
yes,
hmm
that's my middle name, Emmanuel, but
hmm
I'm not using it anymore. I
hmm
use Chi Ukwude. Chi Ukwude means there is a higher self.
Wow. Chi as in CHI.
Yes, Chi means
I
higher
actually have
self.
a mate called Chi, and I actually have the word Chi tattooed behind my ear. So, hey.
Wow. The word Chi means higher self.
It has multiple
So
meanings. It has multiple meanings, like the breath of God and energy force. It has multiple meanings, that word.
yeah,
It's quite a
yes,
powerful
it's
name.
kind of life. Yes, life force.
Mm-hmm.
So mine is Chi Ukude, which means there is a higher self.
Nice. One with purpose. Okay. Your next warm-up
Yes,
question will be, where is your favorite place to be ever?
my favorite place to be is myself.
Yeah, but where? You're where with your physical body. I mean, obviously, no matter where we go, we can't avoid self. But that could be for one person, it could be in the forest. For another, it could be in a hot bath, you know? So I wonder where your
There's
favorite place is for you.
that that is what I'm saying. My favorite place is with myself. I don't have friends.
So your favorite place is
I
with
have
yourself in any physical environment then, yeah?
any place. I'm always myself because I have a few friends who've been
Mhm.
there for me, but they're not much. Just it's countable, like my family and just one other person. So it's just been like that.
So you're
So
very good in solitude.
yes,
It's that's the
it
most
is.
powerful being personally is when you actually are open to people. That you know the balance. I think if you have someone that's closed and they just want their own company, then that's not much of an equilibrium unless it works for them. But I think when you have the balance of hey, you're okay with people, but you are great with yourself.
Yes,
Yeah.
I play with people. I talk to
Mhm.
people, but that is when I'm being talked to.
Yeah.
You know.
Okay.
I don't
Nice.
just go out middling and all that, but mostly I'm with myself at home. I don't go out. Mostly I
Okay.
don't.
All right.
Maybe if I'm going to go out, maybe I'm going to get something I need to use for work, or
Mm-hmm.
maybe I'm going to get something I'm going to cook. I cook for myself.
Okay, I get that. All right. Well, that's your brief warm-up zone. Let's get into the actual conversation now. Thank you for sharing that. I always like to
Like,
take a moment, usually a lot slower, but I'm being mindful of time because of me. Um, yeah, the warm-up zone is purely so I can energy exchange and connect with you on a soulful perspective. And people get to kind of see more than just the topic, a little bit about each person, you know? Yeah.
yeah,
But guys, this live is never going to be enough to show you who this man is. You have to go to all of his pages, which That's, that's the only way they're going to see a lot of you. All right, so let's get
Yeah.
into it. Our topic of the hour: dreams, spirituality, and touching on herbs that heal. Yeah. All right, so let's talk
Okay.
about dreams. Okay, so you say that you are quite good at dream interpretation. Yeah, is that a part of your specialty?
Yes.
Would you be
Yes.
comfortable? Sorry, go ahead.
I started with dreams when I was very little because I used to have this kind of consciousness whenever I am. In fact, I used to have experience before they happen. Maybe if I
Mhm.
get to be in a conversation with somebody, that is not the first time I'm having that conversation.
So it's like constant deja vu, as we call it, constantly. So you have a premonition of a conversation before.
Yes, yes.
Is that
So
all the time?
no, it doesn't happen all the time. It happens especially when I meditate.
Oh wow. Okay.
So it happens when I'm in some certain state of mind. So
Mm-hmm.
it will happen. So
Okay.
where I'm going is this. Um, Around 2012, I woke up one early morning and I saw myself floating.
Oh yeah,
And
that experience.
I looked at my body and it was filled with light,
Wow.
different types of light, like rainbow light and all that.
Oh
So
wow.
I kind of freaked out. When I freaked out, I fell back into the body.
What age was you?
At that time, I think I was just about 20 something.
Oh, so
But
you
I
was in your
don't know
20s.
actually. Yes, but I was 20 plus.
Mm-hmm.
So after that, I started having visiting of the elders. So most of those
Wow.
elders, I can remember them. Some of them, I don't even know them in my lineage, but it's my ancestors. So when I have some certain dreams, normally I have meanings for dreams. Like, well known that when you have these certain dreams, this is the meaning.
Right.
So, but this started happening to me when I have dreams. They kind of visit me and tell me this is the meaning. This is what this dream means.
Wow. So you
So
that was a real gift that was passed down to you.
yes, it
Mm-hmm.
started changing my perspective about dreams because before,
Okay.
yes, I don't regard my dreams before. But now I kind of in fact I do it as a consultation for people free.
Mm-hmm. Well, actually, now that
Yes,
you've
because
said that, sorry, now that you've said that, I was wondering if you were okay with people, viewers, who, again, I think I'm going to have to bring you back on a part two for sure. But for any viewers that are here, if they want to actually tell you something about their dream, whether you be able to give them your definition. And I must say a disclaimer, guys. Everyone, you can tell one person your dream, and five different people will tell you something different sometimes. So you have to be bearing in
yes,
mind, and take it for what it is. And if it resonates with you, be open.
yes,
So I will kick,
is an
yeah,
advice.
yeah.
Is
So
an
I'll, I'll,
advice.
I will kick it off. I will say to you, for as long as I can remember, and for as young as maybe from my 20s, I frequently dream. I'm going to give you two dreams. I frequently dream of me suddenly, I'm flying. But every time I'm flying, I'm running away from someone who's trying to captivate and kidnap me. I'm always running for safety. And as I feel like I'm in a dangerous situation, I take flight. And because in real life I'm scared of heights, and in the dream I'm aware I'm scared of heights, but I tell myself this is not the time for fear. Trust yourself. So I then start flying, but in my vision always goes, but I'm trusting the flight. Then I end up somewhere and I'm safe. That's the first dream that I'll tell you about. What's your thoughts? It's a constant dream that I have for years.
Okay. First of all, your subconsciousness, they don't recognize the physical things that happen to you. They don't
Okay.
recognize them.
Mm-hmm.
They don't. That is a different consciousness. So now what they do is they use things you know on the physical aspect of yourself, which is
Mm-hmm.
now,
Mm-hmm.
to relate an allegory to you.
Mm-hmm.
So whenever you see yourself flying, number one, it means that it's time to change environment, or there is a purpose you need to be doing and you're not doing it.
I think that's one
So
definition for sure. Mm-hmm.
so if you have seen yourself flying in the past, that is what you're doing now, because that purpose, mostly people who see themselves fly are people who are going to come out in a place where the world are going to see them.
But I'm running away because I'm being chased. It's a dangerous scenario where I'm flying.
Yes, because that fly is going to come with a lot of negative energies.
Okay.
Yes, it's going to come with a lot of negative energies. So,
Okay.
firstly, whenever you see yourself flying, it means your environment is also not conducive. Again, you need to change that particular environment in
Mm-hmm.
order for you to attain the purpose. So,
Mm-hmm.
our purpose can actually, our environment can actually affect us attaining that purpose. So, when that purpose is not happening, your spirit, the subconscious mind, will use something you're usually seeing, something you
Mm-hmm.
can relate to.
Mm-hmm.
To pass on that message, you need to fly. You need to move. You need to take hold of yourself and express that
Mm-hmm.
inner part of you, that potential.
Thank you for saying that for your interpretation. And Maria, a viewer, says that's true, King. Interestingly enough, another interpretation has been, and actually many people have said the same thing, which is um, being out of control in my own life in some areas.
Yes, yes.
So I guess again, it can always interlink, but there's slightly different similarity. I think there can be truth in it all, actually. So thank you for that. And
Yeah,
I'll give you a
yes.
second one.
Even when people chase you, also,
Yeah.
it can also speak about people who think you are more, you are doing better than them. It's all around jealousy, I say.
Interesting. And I can never remember. It's not. Sometimes it's not even one specific. It could just be. I know that I'm in danger and I take flight. And guys,
Yes.
if there's anyone in the comments box that wants to ask him anything, feel free. I'll give you one more. Um, Here's a new one. This is a good one. This is now going into definitely spirituality. Yeah. This is a
Okay.
very new one for the last maybe 6 months. I'm asleep and I hear my doorbell ringing. There's nothing in the world that would convince me it wasn't my doorbell ringing. So I jump up. I hate when I jump up suddenly because my heart's always, you don't have time to wake up properly. And I go to my window, but it's an unusual time of night. Nobody comes to my house unannounced. Not even my son would come, but
Mm.
it could be emergency. I'm going to the door. There's no one there.
Yes.
In my opinion, they got the wrong door and they left. It happened again within about a month or so. I did the same thing. No one there. By the third time, I knew it wasn't a real doorbell. I knew that it was a doorbell, but not a physical doorbell.
Yes.
Yeah, I've had different interpretations on that. What's your thoughts?
Mm.
What's going on?
Have you ever seen someone who is experiencing their phone ring in a dream? It's
Oh,
just
wow.
almost the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you want to relate the dream, you need to ask yourself, what does the door stand for?
I've looked it up. I can't even remember now. I've seen so many different
No, no,
renditions.
no. To
Oh, to
yourself.
me,
The
obviously,
answer is within you.
well, physically, it's a door. If I'm going to speak spiritual,
Yes,
I see it as a porthole to something, in or out of something.
yes. Door
Mm-hmm.
is an opening for
Yeah.
something else.
Mm-hmm.
It can be an opening for something good or an opening for something bad. But
Mm-hmm.
let's not be negative, but we have to balance it too.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm.
So a bell brings a message. A bell is what you hear before you open a door.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So it is a visiting. So within that period, it might be a good news coming, something you're going to hear
Do
about
you know,
someone
I've
or
experienced
about
it three
yourself.
times now. And what I was
Yes.
told by a sister was, she asked me a few things. And she said, That does sound like you're getting a visitation from ancestors trying to tell you something. And I'm like, really?
Yes, it's visiting. Is called visitation.
Mm-hmm.
So, like I said, you are not different from your ancestors. Your subconscious mind, which is the spiritual aspect of yourself, is
Mm-hmm.
where your ancestors is all lined up. So
Mm-hmm.
as you are now, you embody millions of ancestors who are already gone. And in this present time, you also embody millions of ancestors yet unborn.
But
So
nothing
the
else
DNA you
happened, you
carry,
know? Mm-hmm.
no, it doesn't matter. I'm just telling you how
Mm-hmm.
it is.
Okay.
So yes, as you now, you might think your ancestors are all gone, those who are passed, but they are not gone. They live within you because
Oh,
those
mm-hmm.
DNA,
Mm-hmm.
they carried them first and they have
Yeah.
laid that foundation for you to come. So your own DNA didn't start from you. It's been
Mm-hmm.
coming. So you
Absolutely.
embody, yes, you embody different types of character and characteristics of different people from your ancestral lineage, both from the
Mhm.
father side and the mother side.
I wonder
Now,
why that's happened though, because there's been nothing else that's happened after that. So I wonder what that was
yes,
about.
that is where I'm going because your
Mm-hmm.
subconscious part is not different from you. So
Mm-hmm.
when you hear a bell is information and visiting,
Mm-hmm.
especially a doorbell. A doorbell means visiting. So it
Mm-hmm.
might not be a kind of visiting that you will recognize. It might just be a change in your energy. You know,
Okay.
you might get yes, you might get that visiting and have a change within your energy. You know,
Mm-hmm.
something might just make you feel okay. I need to relax. I need to meditate.
Mm-hmm.
That is
Mm-hmm.
just you getting into that message because that message is for the soul to recognize, not
Mm-hmm.
actually the physical part
The
of yourself.
physical, yeah.
So yes, you need to pay attention when your needs start changing before after that time. So you also
Thank
pay
you for that.
attention to your spirit, what you're yearning for after
Mhm.
that time,
And I
because
think
the
also
message
I
is
need to
not
be
clear.
mindful on the time it happens because I didn't really focus on the time it happens. To see, next time, because the
Yes,
first two times I thought it was a real physical bell. The third time, you know,
yes.
when I heard it, I was like, I know it's not my door. I'll find out at some point what that's supposed to be about. But let me go
But
to the comments
But
because
if
I'm
you
gonna.
check, sorry, if you check, it would always be around 3 a.m. Just
It's
put up
often
time, you will
often these
see.
things happen. Yeah, yeah.
Around 3 a.m. That time is a wonderful time for your spirit to
Mm.
be at one with the universe, especially the day the sun is rising within your highest element. You're
Some
most
people call it
powerful at
witching
that time.
hour, don't they? Some people call it witching hour. Some people call it creative hour. Or
Yes.
thank you for that. Oh, I
So,
appreciate that.
yes, yes.
Yeah, I'm going to make this more interactive because sometimes when I'm having deep talks, I don't go to the comments as often. But this is very interactive, and I know Maria says that she's also. And Maria, thank you very much for doing capital letters on my live because there's no way I could read that without my glasses. So she says she's experienced the same thing. So that's really interesting. Okay, would you like to say anything more to us, Adika, on dreams before we push on, as nobody else has mentioned it and dreams or want to interpret dreams. So do you have anything else you want to say about that?
Okay. What I would like to talk about on dream furthermore, because our dream is not different from our spirituality, is the
Mm-hmm,
same thing. Both of
mm-hmm,
them are interwoven in between each other.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So, when you give the unnatural things into the natural things,
Yeah.
it affects your consciousness, our consciousness. So, it's like this: whatever you eat, you become.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, if you have a certain kind of junk food or yarn for junk food, is
Mm-hmm.
going to also affect the information that you receive from the subconscious mind, because the subconscious mind is very, very important to stay very high frequential, because that is where the message comes from. If you're not connected to it, it's going to be a problem because you're building chaos within yourself.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So
Hmm.
so what we eat can affect our dream.
That's, you know why I really truly subscribe to that? And I'm glad you said that because food is a vibration. If everything's energy, food is also a vibration. That's why you
Yes,
can, if I eat something now that's a low vibration, I'll be sleeping on this live. I'll be tired.
yes,
And in
yes.
fact,
Because
I never
at
eat
that
before I do lives.
yes, because at that moment the brain is focused on the stomach
Right?
trying to digest. So at that the brain is no longer with you. It's
Hmm.
focused on the stomach because the stomach need to digest so the brain can be free. So the only thing to do that is to make your physical body sedated.
Wow.
Yes, because it's the brain that releases the sedation. You
Mm.
suddenly start feeling to sleep. That is the same thing that happens to animals. When they eat
Wow.
too much, they lay down. When you see a snake, they swallow something big, they stay in one place. They can stay there for months until everything digests because it's uncomfortable. So it's even better. A lot of people will say when you eat, it's good for you to walk, but it's bad because if you look at it, when you walk, you feel pain in the stomach. It's affecting the digestion
Mm.
because the brain is working on digesting and also giving you some space to do the working aspect of that. So it affects the stomach too. So the
But
person will feel pain, a lot of
mhm.
pain. So imagine when you eat immediately before bed.
And then you lay
It,
down.
it, it, yes. So
Hmm.
the dream, the person will have dreams that are not real because your subconsciousness is still working on digesting the food.
Is that why they say people that eat cheese late at night has foolish dreams?
Yes.
Is that a myth? Is that
Yes.
true?
Yes,
Yeah.
that is it. Yes,
That's, I mean,
because
I've been doing like a fruit fast today, but and yeah, not that I'm
mm,
trying to talk about food on this slide, but we can do that next time actually. But definitely food is a vibration. There's no doubt about it.
yes,
There's no
it's
doubt
part
about it.
of our spirituality.
Yeah.
It's part of our spirituality because
Hmm.
if we don't work on that now, we can never attain that consciousness that we dream to attain because it is through consciousness we can be able to manifest.
100%. Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
if the consciousness is being affected, we cannot manifest. It becomes a problem. So
Hmm.
people who eat junk food will always have foolish dreams because, in fact, people like that will always see themselves eating in the dream.
But
So
let
most
me
of the
ask you a
time,
question, Adika, before we round up that part of dreams. I'm sorry, guys, that I'm kind of moving 1,000 miles an hour. I started a little late today, and I do have two other engagements to deal with this evening. Yeah. So that's my fault. So I'm kind of like rolling through, not pacing as I usually would. So forgive me for that. But allow me to ask you one relevant question before we move on to the next subject, which is, what's your thoughts on those who never dream? That I always imagine what that's like blankness every night because I'm a dreamer. So, what about those who don't dream? What's your thoughts?
that is a problem.
Is
If
it?
somebody don't dream, there is something energetically blocked within them. It's
So you
not that
think
they
that
don't dream.
everybody should be dreaming? Is that your
Yes,
yeah?
everybody should be dreaming
Is that every
because
night? Do you think every night or at least sometimes?
no, not every night,
Okay.
but at least once in a while, when you dream, you must remember them. And if you don't remember them,
Mm,
your consciousness, there's something blocking it. So most people
interesting.
think they don't dream. Most people
Right.
think they don't dream. Many people dream, but the
Hmm.
thing is, they don't have the consciousness that they had a dream when they wake up. That is the problem.
Right.
Something is blocked. Many people dream. That is why there are some herbs you get for them, they will dream.
There's even I'm hearing about. I mean, look. First of all, guys, I'm no dream interpreter, but I'm always fascinated, and that's why I have to bring this gentleman back, and also others to talk more lengthy about how these things work. Okay, I'm fascinated, and I don't just look in random dream books because sometimes they just make up nonsense in some of these dream books. But so I know I've come across people that say they never dream. And then all of a sudden, they have this one dream in a lifetime, or 2 or 3 dreams ever. I'm quite fascinated about why that is. Are you saying then there's something blocked within them, or blocked within a spiritual realm, or are you reading the
Yes,
comments of me?
there is. See, when somebody finds it very difficult to dream, it
Mm-hmm.
means that there is something blocking the communication between the conscious the
Sorry.
conscious being
Mm-hmm.
and their subconscious being. There
Mm-hmm.
is no communication. It's just like when you're having a telephone call with
Mm-hmm.
somebody and the network is not active, you cannot connect to them.
Mm-hmm. Adika, sorry, I just got
So
excited in a moment there. You know why? Because this sister, big up to you, Kanika. Yeah, thank you for being here and joining us. She actually said what I've been saying. When I stopped smoking, I started dreaming very, very, very vividly. Yeah, and
yes,
she just said, I, you know,
it's about
after she stopped smoking, she started to dream. So that's really interesting. And Maria says, yes, everyone should dream. If not, yes, a block. Very interesting. Yeah. This brother is deep. He definitely is. Wait till you go and see his pages. I'm gonna add all these stuff after. That's amazing. All right, so let's go on to now. Let me allow you to choose based on time. Do you want to touch more on spirituality? As this is still spirituality, but a deeper form of spirituality, or do you want to talk about the power of words or herbs that heal? Where would you want to go next?
okay. Firstly, let me go with the power of words.
Hmm.
Like let me start from here.
Start from my
I
comment on your page the other day when I said good morning. Let's start there.
okay. I I grew up in the village. I
Hmm.
grew up in the village.
Hmm.
And there is something very fantastic I noticed about my elders, my ancestors.
Hmm.
When a child is noisy, hmm, when a child is noisy around their meeting, they just say, "Stop making sound.
Ah, okay.
Stop making sound." They don't say you're making noise. Stop the noise. They say, "Stop making sound." That is because when you speak, you're making a sound,
Hmm.
and that sound is vibrational.
Hmm. Absolutely.
Now that vibration, we make a sound the same way the universe make a sound.
Hmm.
Everything about us is a reflection of what the universe is. That is why we are also a universe. So every
Absolutely.
one of us is a universe within.
Hmm.
Now, if you look at the thunder, you look at the air, you look at the rain and the moisture. Now you come back to the mouth, you see that we have thunder, which is the sound, we have the rain, and we have the moisture.
Hmm.
So when you open your mouth to speak, you're making a sound that comes from the innermost part of you. So your
Hmm.
sound is coming from the spiritual part of you. Because
Hmm.
this part of you that is spiritual is the inside. So when you
Okay.
make a sound, it's coming from a whole you, a
Hmm.
whole divine essence. That is why it's important the kind of words you say. In my place, there's something that we call Iuwa.
Hmm.
Iuwa is the oath of life or a lifetime oath.
Okay.
So this oath is a spoken word. So we believe that any word you say can affect you in this life and in the next life. How?
Okay.
Just like, for example, you see people, they will say, "Oh, I wish I was a woman. In my next life, I will be a woman. I don't want to be a man." Out of frustration.
Okay. Allow me to jump in? 'Cause I need to be interactive with the questions as each point you make. And thank you for that so far.
Yes.
All right. As you're speaking now, you're talking about manifestation, the good, the negative, or the positive. Although some people believe
Yes.
there's no wrong or right, there's no positive or negative, depending on what you believe. One must be mindful that a lot of our projections that we speak on is cultural. It doesn't actually apply to everybody necessarily. We've got to be very mindful of that. If I talk to you from a half Dominican or half Jamaican perspective, you may think, oh, that's not, but that's culturally, doesn't necessarily mean it's spiritual for everyone. You know what I mean? And also in terms
Yes.
of like manifestation, it's interesting. I mean, I'm for it. I'm all for it, but I'm also, I feel, have a balance with that. Because as you said, what I say now will affect the next life. Okay, then, or, you know, I'm a millionaire. Let me open my window.
If
Would the £1 million be there? It's not. So I do think that
if
sometimes it's intention behind what we're saying. It's intention.
that is why I said when you speak,
Mm-hmm.
it's coming from a whole you, your divine
Mm-hmm.
essence. That is
Mm-hmm.
the sound. That
Yeah.
vibration is the same vibration with the universe. It's
Mm-hmm.
consciousness. So
Yeah.
your
Yeah.
words is alive.
Oh,
When
yeah.
when you
Yeah.
speak it, is alive. Is a living thing. Is a
Mm-hmm.
living thing because it's coming out of a conscious being.
Yeah.
So even someone who is doesn't have the knowledge of consciousness is
Mm-hmm.
also a conscious being, but have lost the knowledge. But that doesn't mean
Absolutely.
they don't produce a conscious sound.
Absolutely. So let me go on to your
So
live. I saw you a few days ago and I thought, you know, as I
mm,
do, I try to pay some attention to everyone that comes on as an individual guest when it's exclusive. And I said, good morning. And you said, nobody's dying. You said, nobody's dying. There's no mourning here. Now, even in London, some people are subscribing to that and I accept it. Again, but one must be mindful not to project because remember, there, the word there, There, it's two different spellings, but it's the same name, but with in different contexts. Yeah. So the word morning, good morning, doesn't necessarily mean mourning a death. To each their own. I mean, I subscribe to what you're saying. I'm all for it, but I also, it's a bit like some Rastafarians, which I'm not. They would never say, I'm going to the library. You know, the library, the public library. Do you use the word library?
mm, you know um
I'm asking you, do you
English.
use the word library?
No, I don't use it. I don't go to a library.
Okay, but you're not uncomfortable with the word, right? Because you just used it, yeah? Some Rastafarians would never use the word library. They call it trubery. You see, so what
But
I'm trying to
you
show
know
you is,
English
let me finish,
English
let me
word.
finish, let me finish. What
English.
I'm trying to say
Okay, go
is,
ahead.
yeah, what I'm trying to say is, I do believe words sound and has I do believe words sound and power, absolutely. But I also
Mm,
feel like one can individualize what works and what doesn't work for you. And I know sometimes one hat doesn't
mm,
fit all. So if I say library, when many rusters would never use that word, they would
mm,
say trubery or television,
mm.
not television. How far do we go before we start, undoing all the words and having our own dictionary?
Okay, let me go at it like this.
Okay, go for it.
In this world is ruled by two things, and that two things is what
Mm-hmm.
the earth and the aquamarine,
Mm-hmm.
which is where the inscribed government comes from.
Mm-hmm.
So the language we speak was adopted from two things:
Mm-hmm.
the earth law, and the water law,
Mm-hmm.
which is the maritime, like
Mm-hmm.
this call it the maritime. Now, when you come into a court, you call it what? A court, right?
Mm-hmm.
So where the judge sits to pass a judgment, what is it called?
Say that again, please. I got sidetracked.
Where a judge sits to pass a judgment, what is it called?
Well, some will call it the stand. Some will call it. It depends on what cult. I guess where. What do you call it?
Okay,
The,
okay.
the, 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 judge, the
You
judge's
go
bench
to
or.
the judge's bench.
Mm-hmm.
So when you go to the religion aspect of it, what do you see? An altar. Is the same thing. So that word in Latin means what? Bank.
Mm-hmm.
Bench, bank. It means bank. So
Okay.
when you go to play soccer or you want to play basketball, you play it where? In a court.
Mm-hmm.
I don't
Yeah,
know if you
I've
understand me.
heard this theory before. I've heard the theory.
So
Mm-hmm.
so when somebody say good morning, is also morning to me because I'm not an Englishman. I don't
Mm-hmm.
know if you get me. I have
I
my own
do. I
dialect.
do.
So
Mm-hmm.
if it sounds the same to me, even though I know it's different, to me as a person,
Mm-hmm.
it's a confusion of words.
Okay, so how about
Because
if I said good morning? How about that?
that would sound better to me because I would know it's different from morning.
Okay, so what we're looking at here is,
Mm,
and again, Kanika says, she says Grand Rising. To be honest, everyone's been saying Grand Rising for about 10 years, but before that, what did one say? And it's good that we evolve, but I also think it's important to evolve. Hear me out. I think it's important to evolve within your own frequency, not joining a bandwagon of trends. Because I think there's positive trends, evolving spirituality, words, and power. But on the flip side, I think you've got to vibrationally have a match with what you're saying. And if you start feeling a distaste of it, that makes sense. But good morgen is the same as good morning, but in German, if I'm correct. It's the same
um,
thing though.
but do you know in my own dialect,
Mm-hmm.
huh? Grand rising is relative to my own dialect as when we say good morning.
Ah, okay.
Yes, that is why
Mm-hmm.
I choose this. I choose mostly what is relative to my dialect. If somebody
Okay.
from Igbo is here, I will speak my dialect. When I say Ototo Oma, it means grand rising, great rising. It
Mm-hmm.
means you have woken, you have
Mm-hmm.
rised from
Mm-hmm.
sleep.
Everyone says
Because
that now, even in London. It is
yes,
I can say happy new
when we
day or
yes, when we sleep, we experience death. It's a
mm-hmm.
culture thing. When we
Mm-hmm.
sleep, we experience death. So everybody die every day and wake up. So we shouldn't even be afraid of death when we die every day. But the mystery
Mm-hmm.
that wakes us up is still a mind. Nobody knows that. So
Mm-hmm.
when you wake up, we say Ototo Oman. It means bright rising,
Mm-hmm.
great rising. It means you did well to wake up.
Mm-hmm.
It's not easy. A lot of people slept and they
Didn't
didn't
wake
wake up.
up.
So
Yeah.
yes. So
Mhm.
me adopting it is actually from my own dialect,
So
not
that's also
because
therefore it was
somebody.
natural to you. So, I mean, it's natural to many people, even in London, UK. It's very natural. I mean, for example, Maria says that like some people, some Jamaicans say good night. Even in the evening, some would say good night. But here's the thing: good night relative to the night time. Yeah. But then you
Mm,
have Caribbeans that go to 9 nights when people die. I've researched it.
mm,
I don't want a 9 night. So a lot of people do take up words and don't look at the origins anyway. They just feel like, okay, it's
mm,
a black thing, we're evolving. Let me just use it. 9 nights. I wouldn't want a 9 night. 9 nights of mourning the person, but where did the
mm,
origin come from? Actually, one of the origins, I've tried to look at it as deep as I can. One of the origins allegedly is that people were buried alive. They were comatized, but they actually wasn't totally dead, and they were buried alive. And they realized after seeing scratch marks on the coffin, which makes you think, why would they be reopening the coffin? That's a whole other story. They came across scratch marks, which meant the person actually hadn't died. So what they started doing was having the body on the table for 9 days and 9 nights. And someone would take turns to witness the body to make sure it was totally dead. That's where 9 nights, one of the origins comes from. But a lot of Caribbeans, they do it. They don't have a clue why they do it. They just think, oh, it's what we got to do. So good night, 9 nights have a similar vibration, but we still say good night, you know?
most of
Yes,
this language
yes,
was
sis.
adopted from
You know?
different circumstances.
Yeah,
So yes, it was adopted from different circumstances. That is why somebody like me, I mostly stick on something that relates to my dialect, something I can understand.
that's why you're clever. And let me tell you why. This is the thing, my brother. Yeah, I respect how you choose to live. I said to you, very down to earth. Remember, I spoke to you, very down to earth and authentic. I watch you. I watch many things that you do. And why I love you as an individual and respect that is because it's vibrationally a match to where you already come from. Yeah. With us
Yeah.
people, I guess we can't be to blame because a lot of us, whether you're Caribbean or, they want to say African American, we're clawing back what we know has been robbed from us. Yeah. It's not, do you know what I mean? Even if a lot of Africa doesn't even claim us as that, but we're clawing
Yes.
back. So anything to do with evolving in blackness and Africa, Afrocentrism, and we're all, most of us are all for it now. Even if they haven't taken any time to either travel there or actually understand what it means for you on a vibrational level. Forget about it sounding good, vibrational level. Again, I'll give you one more word, one more an example. When people may say, in many cultures that we've taken on board, have you ever seen a bride without a bouquet of flowers? Women, I'm sure if you're married or getting married, you'd want to have a bouquet of flowers. Yeah, I don't need one. I'm not opposed to it, but I don't need one. I was told that's strange. But where did the tradition come from? I've looked at it.
And
I've looked at it.
like
And the tradition
like
comes from that many years ago in the Victorian time, they wasn't bathing, they wasn't bathing, showering or nothing for years at a time. So they used the flowers, they made bouquets of flowers to disguise the body odor. And then they'll have like a metal bath. The man will always bath
mm,
first, then the woman, and then the child. So a lot of these things have origins, but we don't really know. We just take on board what one person says and run with it and think, oh, it's part of our culture. But it's your culture, which doesn't make it my culture. But I'm all for it. I don't care where the culture is. If it feels good,
like
I'm a part of it. Yeah.
like if you look at in Africa now, look at
Mm-hmm.
Africa, we value most of the white wedding than our traditional wedding.
Mm-hmm.
Many people they've adopted the white wedding.
Exactly.
But
Exactly.
also if you look at the origin of the white wedding, you will marvel. You know, all of these things have origin.
Well, of course
But
it does. That's why I'm marrying red or
yes,
black.
Africa is like this.
Mm-hmm.
That is the thing about colonizing a people. It's mental.
Yes.
Is mental because everything they want to do, they want to please the people who have done that to them because
That's right, brother.
they see them as a god.
Yes. Yes.
So like in Africa, they read the Bible all the time, and the Bible have told them that the original marriage is the bride price, and you pay it.
Exactly.
You have
Yeah.
married the woman completely, but yet they value to have a big wedding and then just do a small thing and then we pay the bride price. You see? So
Mm-hmm.
we are going out of the original people we are. So
Mm-hmm.
a lot of us, if you look at our tradition, is been affected over the years
Oh
because
my goodness.
we
Yes.
we think it started now, but it's not easy. People who have gone through 4 invasions, 4 different
Mm-hmm.
people, different culture. You know, first the Greek, first the Ottomans from the Caucasus Mountain, which is the present Arab,
Mm-hmm.
different culture.
Mm-hmm.
Third, the Romans, and now we're suffering the British, which is this present Christianity we are going through now. And then
Mm-hmm.
again, we are going through what is called microcolonialism. This
Wow.
macro is a way they are no longer, you're no longer a slave to them, but your politicians are slave to them. So they control
Mm-hmm.
the politicians, then the politicians control the people.
Mm-hmm.
So it is a state you think you're free from it, but you're not really free
Not
to
great.
from it
No,
because
no, we're not.
the,
Mm-hmm. We're not at all.
yes, everything playing out is about our optic. That is what
Mm-hmm.
they are affecting. They want the optic because the optic is so important because if the optic is an illusion, you are never going to be in the now. So that is why when you have faith and you hope,
Mm-hmm.
you will never have.
Mm-hmm.
So what is needed is imagine it and then work for it. But
Absolutely.
now an average African child want to use prayer to manifest. See, it's a
Mm-hmm.
different world we are living. If you look at the world of our ancestors, they worked it out through hard work. But now hard work is not appreciated. A mother would love a child who is preaching like a pastor.
You know, I guess the interesting thing is, and this is why I love diversity. I speak to so many different people on these lives, you know, for the last few years. And what's so amazing is, like, for an example, from where you're from, and even the parks. Obviously, you have westernized Nigeria, and you, as you know, you have the rural village, and you're more of the village, not necessarily the western city side. And it's interesting because I could be saying all these things, but then when you, from your position, you know, very little might have changed other than maybe having, you know, you've got internet, you've got mobile, you've got all these modern day things, but you're still, because you're not totally and far from modernized, you've still got that roots within you. You've got the belly of your ancestral practices, you know? And so when you see a lot of us westernized, you're also thinking, you know, but on the flip side, what we have to bear in mind is everything must change, but we don't have to follow all the changes, you know. So even if you are grounded in your traditions, you've still got, again, mobile, flat TVs, you know, all these modern day things. So we're all altered to a degree, but coming from a very Western place, which I am, and maybe some watching this live, are going to be very, very different. And that's the reason why a lot of us are trying to recapture the energy and culture, like from you, people like you, traveling back to Ghana, Gambia, and places like that, especially Ethiopia. Especially a lot of Black people want to go to Ethiopia and Ghana, and especially Rastas and things like that. But it's all fascinating, guys. Do you have anything that you want to um, add or ask as I read the rest of the comments and mindful of the time? I'm gonna need to wind down the live shortly in the next, say, 5 minutes. Let's see. Maria says, this brother from Nigeria. Absolutely, he is. Yeah. And that's that. Okay. So
Like
go ahead.
when you look at your hair, you know,
Uh-huh.
look at your hair right now.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody like you or somebody like me,
Mm-hmm.
whose hair is like this
What
in
what do, what do
Africa,
you call your hair? That's gonna be very interesting. What do you call it? What do you refer to it as?
my hair,
Uh-huh.
this is an antenna.
I love it. I
Is
heard
this
you say that.
is the yes is a solar panel.
I love
Yes,
that. Did you hear
yes,
that, guys?
because
He said antenna. I thought he was going to slip up and say dreadlocks, because I don't call my hair dreadlocks. I never refer to my hair as dread, which is dreadful. Yeah,
yeah,
locks. I don't. So yours is an antenna. I love that. Mm-hmm. For the
this
next
is
5 minutes,
antenna.
take us through that.
And if you look at the hair, it doesn't start from here. It starts from the medulla, from the inside out.
Mm.
So yes, this is the seat of Aries, which is the crown chakra, the covering of
Next
the
level.
medulla. So it's powerful. This is the disc of the sun.
Oh, you've tickled
So
me with that one. I love it. Antennas.
yes,
I'm going to use that.
if you look at this
Yes.
hair now, if you look at this hair,
Mm-hmm.
if you don't appreciate it, you lose the energy, because this is your crown chakra. The crown
Mm-hmm.
chakra is not the head, it's the hair.
Mm-hmm.
It's called the crown chakra because it's the crown sitting upon all the chakras,
Mm-hmm.
you know, because
Love
it
it.
comes first. So it radiates and collects the sun.
So what about those
So
who don't have hair? What about, you know, men who doesn't have hair? How do you feel about their, and do they not have antennas according to what you feel?
this is what we have been taught.
Yeah.
Naturally, we are the bush people.
Mm-hmm.
That is why we are called Africa. It's not Africa. It came from Afro. Afro-Car people. Afro-Car people are the people who live naturally like the universe. So our
Love
hair
it.
grows like the plants, the trees, the
Oh,
bushes in the
I love it.
forest.
I love it. I love
You
it.
know,
Love it.
so
Love it.
is an expression of the outer universe.
Mm.
So we know very well that this hair is energy. So that is why they introduced the clipper. They told us how to look to reduce the consciousness, because
Come on
they
now.
know this.
Come on,
This
brother.
thing
Yes.
keeps memories. So when you look at your
Mm.
own, it's very long. After washing them, kiss them, breathe in from the hair. It's powerful. You see the
Wow.
energy. Yes, that is why you can be as old as you like, and you can grow your hair, and your hair will be taller than you. Yes, it's a living thing. The
So
hair breathes, it
allow me to
lives, it
ask you
grows.
this. Allow me to
Yeah.
ask you this. Many refer to people with locks as having
Mm,
dead hair. Okay, and I love what you just said. They think they classify it as dead. I've never classified my hair as dead, but that's how Western, even black people will say you got dead hair because it's dreadlocks.
mm.
In which case, disclaimer, guys, but just want to ask how you feel before we close this live in the next 2 minutes. Those who may wear artificial hair, that's women. What is your thoughts on that in regards to the power that antennas, and from that perspective, not necessarily a personal critical position, but what's your thoughts on that?
Okay, if I'm going to go on this, you have to add a few minutes on that.
All right, maybe to
On
be
the two
continued
minutes.
then. Part two. That'll have to
Oh,
be a part two,
oh,
guys. Yeah. I'm very sorry that I've
okay.
rushed the live, but I do have other engagements tonight. So all right, that'll be a part two. I'm gonna go into your inbox after, and we're gonna literally schedule ASAP, maybe for next week if you're available, guys. Yeah, guys, if
Okay,
you want
no,
to see
no
him back
problem.
next week,
Anytime.
yeah. If you want to see him back
Yes.
next week, same time, hopefully same day, yeah, we can ask this gentleman to grace us with a part two, and if you're lucky, a part three. But you're not the type of person you can just have 5 minutes with. No, 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 no. We want. Look, I'm gonna grab you like this. We want you for more longer. Yeah, you are very, very, very knowledgeable and very, very, very spiritually inclined. And me, it's my nature as well as my host position to go back and forth with you and challenge and pull out, as opposed to just be, overwhelmed by one person's perspective. So that's my nature.
Yes.
Yeah. But we love what you're doing. Let's read some last comments. Yeah. Kanika already said yes. They want you back. Yeah. Sacred Butterfly, what's good? She also said definitely. Yeah. Let me see. Hang on a minute. Thank you. Where's my sister gone? Faye Faye. Yes, yes, come back for part. She said part 2, 3, and everything else. Yeah. Wow. Thank you very much. The man with the antennas. I love it. My hair is now an antenna. I'm going to actually say that from now on. I normally just call it my locks or my natty, but I love the fact that you describe it as like a tree and bushes. And oh, I love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. Okay. Well, before we go, allow me to thank you so very much for gracing us with your presence, with your spirit, with your knowledge. And this is so brief, it's not enough. I know. But allow
Thank you
me to
so
ask
much for
you,
giving me this opportunity.
you're
I
welcome.
really
You're
appreciate it.
welcome. Allow me to ask you one more question before you leave the live. It's always a question I ask everybody, and I call it afterthoughts. What are your afterthoughts, my brother, so far in spending this last, say, hour with me? What's your thoughts? How are you feeling?
My my afterthoughts.
Mm-hmm.
Um, everybody here in the comment section, everybody who is watching, their energy is wonderful. I can feel it.
Mm-hmm. You hear that,
Yeah, I
guys?
feel the energy is cool, nice. I feel it is powerful and it's inspiring. And you
Mm-hmm.
have a great energy. You have a good energy, man. Anybody who is around you will feel it, you know.
Thank you very
So
much.
that is why on your own side, don't be around crowd too much, please. Your energy is powerful. So you can attract a lot of people who wants to be healed. It
Oh,
can
my
actually
brother.
suck you. It can suck you.
Hmm. You already know that I know. The fact that you said that last bit, the crowd and reasons why, I already know that you know. You can already read me. 100%. And now you've actually explained why I have to live the way I do. But we're going to talk about it on the next live. Guys, next week, I'm going to put out the promos. But when you see the promo drop, if you're lucky, he may be interpretate more of your dreams, but we're going to come up with some fresh topics. But also, we're going to go on the topics we didn't get to cover today, which is, more like herbs, as well as deeper forms of spirituality and anything more that this gentleman wants to talk about. In fact, you guys can also inbox me suggestions, and maybe we can go through what he might want to talk about. How's that for you, Adika?
Of course, I would love that.
Yeah.
Relative.
Okay, guys, if you
Relative
want to,
enlightenment is always the best.
oh, 100%. If you guys would like to follow his page, I'm gonna on the other posts that you see and the promos, his other page is linked on it, but also he has his TikTok and all that. I'm gonna get all the information. Actually, inbox me your TikTok, please. I can't remember it offhand, and I'll add it to this post
Thank you.
and everything else. Guys, go support him on TikTok as well as Instagram. Yeah.
Thank
Thank
you,
you so
Lucy.
much.
Thank you so much.
You're
Thank you so
welcome.
much. I feel great having this opportunity. And one thing this is going to do to me is I'm going to see this live while I sleep because the expression wasn't really expressed.
Mm-hmm.
So that's it. That is it. That is just the thing. I'm going to be on this live again
Oh my gosh,
at
absolutely.
night.
And this is the kind of live that should have been about 2 hours at least. So we're going to bring you back. As soon as I'm finished, I'm going to quickly do a few things. I'll be in your inbox before the end of the night. We'll reschedule and people can look out for the promos, but guys can message me and give me suggestions on the topics that they want us to talk about together specifically. Ah, yes. Thank you so much, sir. Namaste.
Thank
And
you.
feel free to exit
Thank
the
you.
live where you see the X.
Thank you so much.
Okay. Guys. He's amazing. Very intriguing man. Yeah, definitely an hour is never going to be enough. And I was trying to speed it up, but it wasn't going to happen. We have to bring him back on a part 2 and 3. All right. Thank you guys for joining me today. I appreciate you. Oh, God, I got to go. Namaste. Peace and love.